Hey everyone. So, Grindr is in the news, not once, but twice, and I felt like I just needed to give a real impromptu comment kind of update considering what this page is about. The first one is obviously the U.S. Treasury basically said Grindr being owned by a Chinese company is a national security threat. And I just say, I thought that all along. Again, people or think that, oh, you're against the app. And I'm like, no, the app is a technology. It's how we use it that makes it good or bad. It's the users, not the technology itself. But the Chinese owning the number one gay dating app in the West was a massive scandal waiting to happen. It's interesting. I'm a little bit shocked that the Trump administration Treasury is acting on it. But let's be clear. Countries spy on each other. China is not exactly an ally. Let's think of the 1980s when the West was against the Soviet Union, right? The sad truth was spies and countries and organizations would exploit sexual, certainly your sexual orientation, but anything like an affair. These countries, whether it's the CIA, the KGB, MI6, if they could squeeze an operative or an informant, if they could get information out of that person and use your sexuality against you, they were sure as hell going to do that. So, to me, I couldn't imagine a situation where the Chinese government would not use Grindr as a spying tool, right? So if you control that app, imagine you could look at every naked junk pic within a mile of the White House or Capitol Hill or within a mile of 10 Downing Street and just start looking at face pics and naughty pics and looking through congressional directories and high-profile individuals. All those things are usually public. And if you're a spy master, it would be political malpractice not to be doing that, in a sense, right? Because what do they care about, ethics when spying has always been very, it's always national security first, or perception of national security. So, not at all surprised. I literally thought for this to happen, though, some congressman or senator was going to have to be outed. That some congressman or senator or White House aide would be basically get blackmailed by the Chinese or be blackmailed by some sort of dodgy company or third-party organization who might have acquired the information from the Chinese. I literally had thought of trying to write a fictional TV movie about it, but I thought it was just so outrageous and nobody would care and it would just be so outlandish that no one would want to read it. And kind of in the age of Trump, what is one naked picture when there's so much more, right? It's our capacity for scandal is so much greater now. But and this is probably the only time I'll say this, I think the Trump Treasury Department did the right thing. Now, I don't know to what extent that was Republican appointees or career civil servants who made that determination, but they absolutely made the right choice. Again, that's not a knock on the app itself. It's just if people are engaging in intimate conversations, that's very likely to be blackmailed, and that shouldn't be used against people. And, I don't know if I trust any government anymore, but I know I trust certain governments a lot less than others. So I think the Treasury Department made the right call, and as always, try to be responsible with what you share online. The other incident in the news is, of course, yet again, another person was using Grindr to find victims and attack them. He would attack them with a knife and then steal their car. This happened in northern England. It's interesting because Grindr came after me a year ago on Twitter because I raised this very issue. I was asked to write an article for a gay magazine, which I did, about Grindr safety. And again, I wasn't really attacking the app per se, but I just raised the question, do these apps need to do more to help ensure the safety of users? And I got into a conversation with a high-profile gay man, and we started tweeting back at each other about things you could do to make Grindr more secure. The app saw this, and this was all via Twitter, so we're kind of tweeting at each other. And Grindr saw this and they reported me to Twitter. Twitter just said, you've been accused of something. We're not telling you what. But they said something along the lines of, we have to screen out bots, like fake profiles of people that don't really exist. So be sure to add that in your appeal. So then I appeal, saying I'm obviously a person. What else can I do to say that I prove that I'm a real life person? Then they write back and they say, actually, you were accused of impersonating Grindr. We've read your appeal. You didn't address impersonating Grindr. So we're closing down your account and this decision cannot be appealed or rescinded in any way possible. So keep in mind, they never said, prep your appeal to show that you're not impersonating Grindr. They just said, we think you're a bot. That's how I responded. And they said, psych, we say you're impersonating that big app. And I was obviously furious. And it was more about like, wait a minute. I wasn't even attacking the company per se, but it was like one big company is manipulating another big company to shut down a commentator who wasn't even really attacking the first company in the first place. So that's one reason I don't use Twitter to promote anything. I mean, I get that I can create another account, but it's just kind of out of principle. I don't really want to be supporting a company that kind of just so capriciously tried to shut me down in what I had to say. And it wasn't like me commenting on how users and apps can work together to make these apps safer is bad or wrong, right? That's something we should all be talking about. So here it is happening again. But anyway, I digress. I just wanted to give you guys a brief update. Grindr's in the news not once but twice in the past 24 hours. Just wanted to get that out there in case you guys didn't know. And as always, stay safe, try to stay secure, be mindful, be kind, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks.